Christina from the US.
Hi, I'm Lauren from the UK.
Go first.
When I think of America, I usually think of like lots of green grass, big houses, big families. I don't know anything else. Like New York, of course, and then like LA. They're like the two places I think of first. But the overall image is like the American dream, like with the house and family kind of stuff.
The picket fence, and like the big yard. See, when I think of the UK, I know you're gonna get mad, but London. Just from the movies, so like different architecture and like the accent is different, the fashion is different.
Okay.
Oh, this is fun.
Are you excited?
I hope I can answer it right.
Okay. First one. I shouldn't laugh. Do all Americans have a gun?
Oh! No. And it also kind of depends on what area you live in. So down south, it's more common to have guns. But where I'm from in the Northeast, I never really saw anyone with guns. Like in their household, my friends' parents didn't own guns, so it wasn't very common. But it's kind of interesting because recently, more people in my state are holding guns.
Oh.
For some reason, So not everyone. In my case, growing up, most people did not have guns in their home.
So it's like a state by state thing, there's different rules or different laws?
There are some different laws, but I think it's just a culture thing as well. It's just more common down south. Protect your land.
So the guns are not legal. I think you need like a special license, like if you're a vet or if you have a farm or if you're like a hunter. Like I know you can get hunters licenses because, well, they use like where I grew up, there was like a clay pigeon shooting arena. I don't know what to call it, a field where they throw the clay in the air and they shoot it. So those people had like special licenses, but nobody has a gun in their house unless they're like a hunter or a gang member. So yeah, that's it. Is having a one-night stand too common in America?
Oh, too common?
Is this too common in America or just common or too common?
Oh, well, we just went to dark to like risque, really good.
These questions are intense.
Too common. I don't want to like say there's like a stereotype that Americans are easy, because not all Americans are easy, but I would say that people in the US, they're a lot more comfortable talking about those kind of things, and I feel like they may be a little bit more direct. So if they see someone and they want them, maybe they're more apt to go up to them and be like, hey, what you doing?
Why like this though? They'd be like, hey,
you wanna come home today? Maybe it's like a little more common, not too much. Not as much as people think. It's not like you're gonna go into a club and then you're just gonna easily get anyone. That's not the case, you know? Just people are more open talking about that kind of thing. So that's what you should expect.
Honestly, I think it's probably the same.
Yeah,
like, especially amongst like university students. When I was at university, it was so common to just like hear it or like talk about this kind of stuff with your friends. Like no one, like people think British people are like prudes, I guess maybe, but like I think it's just the exact same.
Yeah.
And like I know amongst friends, like you would talk about that kind of stuff, or you would see it like when you would go out, you know, like.
We actually see it.
I didn't mean that. Well,
You
I
would
mean,
see the
you would
interaction
see
before the.
or some. I've seen some things, okay? But no, you would see like people like leaving together and stuff. Like no one cares. It's like do what you want as long as you're like safe, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that we just talk about it.
All right, yeah. As long as you're safe. Use protection, kids.
Do Americans think the USA is the greatest country on earth?
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not.
Oh, okay.
Right now, like there are so many people that are just like, I hate the US. Because just everything that's going on right now, I think a lot of people are unhappy with the US currently, everything that's going on in the States. But then, of course, there are some patriotic people who really stand strongly for the US. They're very patriotic, and they're like, "Yeah, America.
Do you think that also differs on like the area as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
It does differ a little bit. I would say maybe you see a lot of like really patriotic people. I don't want to say the South again, but I think maybe in the South, in Midwest as well, perhaps. Of course, there's patriotic people everywhere, but just in what I think maybe like the South. And the East Coast, the West Coast, maybe it's a little different.
Yeah. What about age, like the generations?
Oh, I feel like the younger generation is very like, F the system, like, you know, I hate cops and like, you know, the system is horrible, I hate the government. Like, I feel like the younger people aren't very happy with the States right now. And maybe the older, maybe they're a little bit more patriotic.
Yeah.
But it does depend on the person, but just in general.
Why do Americans love the British accent?
Because it sounds so nice. I don't know, it's just very different from the accent in the US. So and we don't hear it often, so when we hear it, you're like, oh, wow, it's different. I feel like with other accents as well, but I feel like it's almost like melodic in a way, and it sounds very like, I don't want to say it, but it sounds like fancy. So it sounds really cool to us. So if like someone from the UK comes to the US, they would probably be really popular.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
I've had friends do that and they're like, oh my God, I was a celebrity.
Probably a lot of people are curious and would talk to them.
Like, it's just normal. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't hear it and think like, wow, because everything like is American, like TV shows and everything. I think the only time I'm kind of like, ooh, this is a bit interesting is like if you hear like a really distinct accent. Like when you start talking a Boston accent, I'm like, damn, Christina. But like in general, I think it's not uncommon to hear an American accent, so I never like react to it.
Yeah.
But maybe if I was in the UK, then I would kind of be like, oh, an American accent, like.
You don't hear a lot of American accents?
I honestly not really. Like
Yeah.
even university students, I don't remember any Americans actually. I think it's more like Europeans and stuff. But obviously tourists, like in London you would hear
Oh yeah, all
Americans.
the time. I was like gonna say, like, hey, do you know where the restaurant is?
Yeah, and they've got their little bum bags. So
Their
cute.
fanny pack and their hands.
So cute. Are Americans optimistic and like to dream big?
It really depends on the person. I mean, I've met both type of people. I've met people who have a really high drive and they're really go-getters, and they, you know, work at a big company, they travel the world, they want to do a lot in life. But then I've also met people that are very content, you know, staying in their own hometown and, you know, just having like a job in the town and just kind of settling down. It really depends on the person. I think also like in every country it's going to be like that too.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like necessarily different in other countries, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that this is like a big thing, especially for like Brits. We think you guys are like super optimistic. Like I'm sure I've said this to you before. You know, like maybe compared to us, you're a bit more optimistic and you're kind of like trying to see the brighter side of everything.
Maybe, yeah, I think so. Because I feel like also in our culture, like it's polite to be kind of positive, and also our humor is a little different too, right? So if you're sarcastic a lot and you're negative a lot, then maybe it's kind of looked down upon a little bit. Whereas maybe other places, or you're coming off as being honest, right? But for us, I feel like sometimes we have to be a little bit more friendlier and positive. So actually, yeah, I can kind of see that.
Why do Americans love small talk?
I have like a love-hate relationship with small talk. Sometimes I just want to do my own thing and I'm just like tired, or I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just feeling introverted that day. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, why is everyone talking to me? But then other days, like when I'm feeling friendly and extroverted, especially when I went back to the States, people were like having conversations and they're like, oh, have a great day, or oh, your outfit looks good, girl. I'm like, oh, thanks, girl. Oh, yeah, I was like so happy, you know, just like the little conversations. But I feel like it's engaged in like kind of friendly conversation. You may come across as being a little cold.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a culture thing. Like we do it because how we are polite to each other a little bit. So we feel as though we have to be friendly. So how's the weather today, Lauren?
Yeah, the weather is awful today.
Be optimistic.
It is great.
I think it's kind of interesting with the small talk, I guess, because I didn't realize it until I left the States. I always hear people saying like, oh, do Americans do small talk all the time? Do people just like go up to you and make conversation, make friends on the street? And I didn't realize that it was like, we had that stereotype. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was good. I think actually more similar. Like these questions, I'm kind of like, oh, we had quite a lot of similarities. Also, there's a lot of stereotypes that I've heard.
Besides the gun one, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah. So today I answered some questions about the US.
If you liked the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below, and we will see you again very soon.
Bye.
Bye.